What's up guys, Jonas Schwickert here. I greet you to another Boogie Woogie lesson on my YouTube channel. Today I'm teaching you the most essential and important and most versatile and best sounding Boogie Woogie bassline that every pro player uses and every beginner should start out with. Starting in Boogie Woogie is all about solidifying that left hand engine, that bassline first, without adding too many layers of complexity on the right hand before not having that bassline really in place. And that's what we're gonna cover today. And I'm gonna share 3 secrets to make a Boogie Woogie bassline really authentically be a Boogie Woogie bassline that most don't ever learn, because it's not just about the notes you're playing, it's how you're playing them. And there's 3 very important details, like micro steps in between the bassline, the actual notes and the fingering and stuff, that I'll teach you here throughout these 3 levels. So we have 3 levels of the bassline itself, and we have 3 secrets within every Boogie Woogie bassline to make it work. Are you ready? Hands loose, shoulders down, relaxed. Let's dive into it. We're starting with the very basic version of the bassline. There's gonna be 3 levels to this bassline. I'm gonna go through all of them. Okay, so level 1, 8 notes per block of bassline, also known as a bar. Check it out. That is the basic version. Let's look at the notes in detail. We're gonna start with the 5th finger here on the C twice. Then we're going on the 3rd finger, the E, 1 time, back down to the C, up to the G with the 1st finger, back down to the C, up to the A, and then onto the G. Now, it's very important you copy my exact fingering here. And in piano, we always have 5 finger numbers. The thumb will always be number 1. The index finger will always be number 2. The middle finger will be number 3. The ring finger will be number 4. And the pinky finger will be number 5. So that means, again, 5th finger on C twice. 3rd finger on E, back down to C, up to G, down to C, A, G. And these with the 1st and 2nd finger. Do not use the 1st and 1st finger here, alright? Now try to play this with me in a steady rhythm. Steady, okay? No gaps in between. There you go. Dun, dun, dun. You can also sing the melody of the bass line while playing it. It will help you internalize it. I like to teach my students just listening and repeating as a principle, right? Just listen and repeat. It's so important but overlooked. Dun, dun, dun. Very nice. Now we're gonna add the first secret to make a Boogie Woogie bassline really a Boogie Woogie bassline to sound super impressive already, which will be the swing rhythm. So all that means is that swing rhythm is just a rhythm, and every music has a rhythm. It's a steady pulse that goes through music, but in swing, the pulse is not steady. It's always unevenly split up. So we have one long, then we have one short, long, just from the rhythm, right? Short, long, and short, long. You can also view this as an easier way, just saying ba-dum, 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 right? And the ba are the short ones, the dum are the long ones. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Then you can slowly speed up, right? Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Great job. So we got the level 1 bass line and we got the swing rhythm, one of the secrets of making a Boogie Woogie bassline work. Now, let's dive into level 2. Level 2, we're gonna add some notes onto our bassline block. So instead of just having these as single notes, we're going to replace the E with the E flat. Okay? After that, we're dropping down onto C and E together. Then we go G again, back down to C, and then to A and G. So I'll do that again. Advanced, E flat, drop down, C and E together, G alone, C, A and G. just like that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and dum ba dum ba dum ba dum ba dum ba dum ba dum ba. Short long swing rhythm, right? Short long short long. Very nice. Great job. That's advanced variation. You might practice this for a bit now, or you won't just keep going and wait for the expert version. But before we go to the expert version, here's the second secret to make a bass line really shine. And this is called the backbeat. That means you're going to accentuate specific notes over others. Accentuation means bringing dynamics into it in piano, right? So you'll play it louder and the sound that you hear from them will be shorter. Here's what I mean. Check it out. So this is without accentuation. Everything is the same, right? Now I play with accentuation, the backbeat. So you can hear I'm accentuating the E flat and the A. These are also known as beats 2 and 4. All right, so this brings that swing way more to the foreground. So now you can apply this to the basic version. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So the E and the A on the basic version, right? And the advanced version, we got the E flat and the A. Hear that? 1, 2, and 3, and 4. This is what we want. Alright, now we got the backbeat and the swing rhythm in place, and we're already sounding amazing. Right, let's go. Yeah. Great. Very nice. So that's that. Let's move on to level number 3. And this one is really where the magic lies. And all we're doing is we're adding another few notes to the bass line. Check it out. So instead of the E flat, we're gonna add the A to it. So E flat and A. Then we're dropping down to that same C and E. G is the same, C is the same. And then we have F with A and then E with G. So instead of just A and G, we're gonna have F and A and E and G, right? So we're just adding this F and the E at the end. Right? So C, C, E flat A, C, E, G, F and A, E and G. Dum, ba, dum, ba, dum. That's the expert version, and check out how awesome this sounds. Yeah. Now that sounds like boogie woogie. Of course, this is a fast tempo, but you will get there. But to get there, we need secret number 3 to make a bass line really work for a beginner student especially. This one will be about hand relaxation techniques. So what I want you to visualize, first of all, is going to be an egg in the palm of your hand. Imagine an egg. Now, when you're playing piano, would you want to squish the egg all over your beautiful piano? Like when you're playing like this, the egg would be squished. There's no room, there's no gap under your hand, in your palm. What you want to do is you want to raise your wrist so that there's always a bit of a gap where an egg could fit into, right? It doesn't have to be extreme like this, just a little bit, so that you're not under the piano like this, because this is bad technique to play piano, especially boogie woogie. you want to raise your wrist. That does not mean raise your shoulder, okay? Very, very important. Doesn't even mean raise your arm. It mainly means raise your wrist, right? Second thing of staying relaxed, you have the egg in your palm. Second thing is to always have your shoulders down, always. Never have them up. Now this will be a work in progress. What I recommend as a cheat code for this is to put a sticky note on your piano where you just write down, keep your shoulders down, because this is what I do with my students. I have them write this, and then they have this impulse, they see it, oh yeah, and then they quickly remember it, because while playing, especially if you're new, you're gonna forget this because you're focusing on playing, right? Because it's not really independent yet. You're still focusing on it, but then you see that, and then you can quickly make the habit of having that mental reminder in your head pop up all the time. Oh, shoulder down, okay? Shoulder down, wrist elevated. And then the third thing will be, you want to view the piano, the keys, kind of like a hot stove, all right? That means you don't want to touch them too long, right? And you're kind of throwing your hand a little bit across the keys, right? Check it out, the movement I'm doing. It's like a visual exercise mainly. It's also an analogy I love is a floppy fish flopping over the piano. And one of the greatest boogie woogie players of all time, Axel Zwingberger, he does this to a master level. I'm going to blend in a clip of that right now. Look at that, ingrain that into your memory, and just have that in your mind's eye while practicing. It will solidify over time, just if you think about it more and more, right? So as you saw, what he's doing, instead of like having his hand all tight and stiff, he's really flopping around here. And this will come with time, right? It's like a hot stove, and he has his wrist very elevated too, right? Shoulders down. So those are the 3 secrets, very important to internalize this early on as a beginner student, especially also if you're a little on the older side. I've seen this a lot with my students. They're very tight playing, you know, because the muscles need some getting used to this stuff. And now we only covered the C octave here, which is fine for the beginning because we're just trying to learn the bass line, fingering, the techniques, everything that makes it work. So you can just practice this for a long time on C. You have this to practice now, but here's the question: how should you practice this? How should you get this to an independent level? How can you learn the next progression, which is just transposing the bass line onto F and G and learning that 12-bar blues progression? These are the next steps, and I have literally put all of these steps together for you in a 5-day challenge called the Hand of God Challenge. This will take this bass line from these stages, so just on C where we learned it here, right, to that next level. You'll learn it in day 0 on F and G. You'll learn the 12-bar blues progression. And after that, every single day you will get an email from me with like 5 to 10 minute exercises, 1 exercise per day, that will take this bass line to an independent level, all right? So you will do exercises with your right hand that are very, very specifically selected day by day, like step by step. And by the end of it, you'll have this in an independent level. And then you go through the challenge, easy peasy. You will have done very, very effective exercises, especially for older beginner students, and that I've created through years of working with exactly students like you. And then you can go through my other lessons where I also teach right hand licks and chords and stuff like this, or other lessons on YouTube, don't even have to be mine, or wherever you're learning, right? But going through that will be your next step, right? To really build this bass line into an independent machine that can run while you're playing that right hand. That was what you can sound like if you go through that. So I will see you there. Take your time with those lessons. Sign up right now. It's the first link below, and it teaches you exactly how to practice this, what to practice day by day, so you don't get overwhelmed. And then by the end of that, you can continue your learning journey. Thank you so much for watching, for giving me your time, and I will see you in the 5-day hand independence challenge. So sign up to that right now if you haven't.